I'll give you fair warning. I have no intention of holding back.
You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
What's up? Welcome back to the podcast. It's your boy, once again, Studio MacGyver, and I want to thank everybody for listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about episode 88 of Dragon Ball Super, talk a little bit about the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 DLC that just came out, amongst a couple other things. So let's get started. First things first, this Dragon Ball episode was, in my opinion, the best episode that I have seen up until this point in the series. I was extremely pleased with this episode. Learned a lot of things watching this episode. Very excited for the next episode. I just can't wait. But this episode was really cool because Gohan did some training with Piccolo, and we found out a few things. We found out that that Gohan was able to tap into himself and go find his Super Saiyan Mystic form, and also learned that he can even go beyond that. So Piccolo basically told him, hey, I think you can go further if we train. We only got a little bit of time left, but I think we should use this time and get our shit together. Piccolo's gotten stronger himself. So while Gohan was training and reading those books and whatnot, hey, what do you think Piccolo was doing? Those are his words, not mine. So he was getting his shit in. I also found out that Vegeta can change a diaper like a G. Very, very good diaper changer. The new kid, Bulla, baby girl. Yes, he supposedly is very skilled at changing diapers. So that was cool. To all my Vegeta fans out there, me included. I was just very excited about this episode. It was a very well played out episode, in my opinion, and I just liked everything about it. Even the fight scenes, were nice. Piccolo basically just nailed into Gohan's head. Look, you cannot be arrogant no matter how strong you become, because that's how you always take an L when you do that. He demonstrated that on many occasions. And like I said, in my opinion, Piccolo is the best battlefield tacticianer on the squad. He thinks of every possible scenario there is, in my opinion. He's on his shit straight up. Vegeta's a good tacticianer too, but Piccolo is just the top of the line. Has always been that way. A strategist, very strategic in everything he plans out and tries to do. He's always trying to stay 2 to 3 steps ahead of his opponent. And like I said, in this series, in this saga, it's looking like it's going to come down to wit and mind over strength in this tournament, because you can't kill your opponent. You can only knock him out, and then you have to get him outside the ring. So it's going to definitely take somebody with some brains and a strategy to reign supreme in this battle royale, so to speak. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. Cannot wait. I am counting the days to the tournament. We only have about 9.5 hours left before it begins. So they gave us a little taste of what would be happening in the next episode. And like I said, guys, before, if you've heard my podcast in the past, everybody who listens to me knows that my 3 favorite characters are Frieza, Vegeta, and the one and the only Tien Shinhan. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. That is my guy. Okay. I just think he is one of the most underrated and interesting characters in the Dragon Ball universe. I just think he has so many layers that can be tapped into. And like I said, in Dragon Ball is like, it was bliss. His arc was bliss in Dragon Ball. His techniques, everything like that. And I just felt that, as Dragon Ball Z came along, Toriyama kind of, more so forgot about him than anything else, and watered him down a little bit, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. That's how I feel, I'm not going to chastise anybody for, feeling different, but that's just how I feel about it. But I'm very excited to find out what's going to happen with him. Supposedly he has his own dojo now he's running. So he is a master and he's running his dojo. And supposedly Master Roshi is going to be possessed some kind of way. I'm not sure. It was only 30 seconds to 40 seconds. But I saw Tien doing something. He was powering up. He was trying to use a technique. I don't know what it was, but I cannot wait to find out. All his training that Tien has been doing, he has never stopped training. So he has got to have learned some things in his trials and tribulations away from the rest of the Z team. Everybody else has. Krillin has, and Krillin stopped fighting for years and then started again and has learned how to do ultra version of the solar flare, which is Tien Shinhan's move. Okay, that is his technique. So, I mean, hey, what are you gonna do, right? That's just how I feel about it, and I'm amped. I'm very excited. Was very happy with the last episode. I cannot stress it enough. I'm saying it over and over again, but it's true. It was a very good episode, man. And I'm just babbling on about it, but it was good. It was very good. I'm doing a lot of things at once right now at the same time. It's been a very, very busy week for me. I have not had time to do anything for the most part. I mean, I've been working 6 days a week, so I have one day off, which is Sunday, and then even that day was taken up by me running errands and trying to get everything done that one day, washing clothes and cooking my meals for the week, and I had to go get my hair done and all this other crazy stuff has been going on. Then this podcast, so my day and schedule has been just filled up. And then next week I got more stuff on my plate. So hopefully we get 2 days off next weekend and I can take advantage of that and get some other stuff done that I need to do. But you guys, I had to get this podcast out to you guys and express my happiness for this last episode. Very, very dope episode. And this arc is really looking like it's going to be really good. I really, truly believe that. We also learned that Kaba is going to be in this tournament, and he was trying to get his general to come and fight with him in the tournament, but he's supposedly injured and can't do anything. So he recommended that Kaba take his sister, who is a female Saiyan, and has told Kaba that, look, my sister is stronger than me. I think you can use her. She's a little rough around the edges, but she's a little scrapper. So we're going to be introduced to a female Saiyan. We're going to find out what she's about. So they're introducing a lot of characters, a lot of new characters. Characters are finally evolving other than the Saiyans. and we are being shown that now, which I'm also happy about. I'm actually very happy about that, because I was always wondering, when were the other characters going to get a bump? When were they going to, get some love? Because up until that point, I just call the show the Saiyan show. You know what I mean? Because it's just all Saiyans all the time. And all the other team members who've sacrificed and done things in the past with the squad, blood, sweat, and tears, and the whole nine, and really get nothing. They get to sit on the sideline and look stupid. Very, very powerful individuals in their own rights, but when you compare them to Saiyans, they're basically just commentators. So I'm glad to see that has been remedied in this arc at least. And I hope and pray that as we go forward in the series, that we see more of this, because this is how you write a story, in my opinion. You have to put other pieces and incorporate them into the story. It just can't be all about the Saiyans. You know what I mean? You have to add depth to any story that you write. So, they could use other enemies that are, on par with, other characters, like some of the human characters or whatnot, the Piccolos of the world and the androids of the world, and that would add more depth, in my opinion, to the series. Because then would also, if you want to emphasize how strong these Saiyans have become, that's, I think, how you should do it. That's what I believe. So it looks like they're heading in the right direction. It looks like they are listening to the fans, and with that being said, I can't wait. Like I said, this episode, man, I'm going to probably watch it 3 or 4 times, no doubt. But anyway, let's move on, shall we? Let's talk about some video games, shall we? What I'm looking forward to is some fighters. Well, yeah, we got Tekken 7 coming this summer, but before that, even, we have Injustice 2, which really looks good to me. Been watching a lot of videos, and usually when a company, when they give you a surplus amount of footage on a game, that's showing how confident they are for the most part in that product. That's my take on it. They got all kind of footage on all these characters. Excuse me, guys. I've been having me a little taste of the brown water, but yeah, man. I can't wait to play this game here. I've been really diving into my fighting games lately. I've been playing a lot of Soul Calibur 2, my favorite Soul Calibur game out of them all. Rival Schools 1 and 2. First one being PlayStation, second one being Dreamcast. Getting into my fighters a lot recently. So yeah, man. I can't wait for this Injustice. It looks very good, very interesting title, man, and it's introducing a lot of characters that I had no idea existed in the DC universe, which is cool, because that's also a cool way to get people incorporated into the DC universe more, because Marvel has so many known characters, and they have a lot of time invested in giving a lot of those characters love and exposing them. With this game, I feel it can do some of that. It's kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. The characters from DC that most people know: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, those type of characters. But then you start getting into some of these other characters, wondering, oh, who is that guy? He looks cool. Who is this guy? Who is she? And then you find, you do a little research, and then you get a little intrigued, and then there you go, boom, introduction into the DC universe. So I think that's cool. Of course, using the same engine as Mortal Kombat, you can't go wrong with that. Black Adam is my boy. Yeah, man. So I am excited to play this game. This is one of the titles I will be purchasing. Tekken 7 also, because I have to show some people I got skills. I'm also a pretty good. I like to consider myself a pretty good Street Fighter player. So yeah, man. You guys feeling kind of froggy? Want to take that leap? Go on and plug that controller in, man. Turn it on, and we can get into it. Yeah, man. I'm a very novice to average Dragonball Xenoverse player. I hate to admit that, but yeah. I mean, in my opinion, it's barely a fighter in my opinion, because there's so many things that make that puts that in a strange category to me. I mean, I don't think they'll ever get the lag completely fixed on that. I mean, no matter who you play online, I mean, you can't escape the lag. And that's kind of that throws me off a little bit. And then it's broken. I mean, a lot of the game is broken as far as techniques and moves. They don't have. It's really too many to nurture. I mean, because you think you got one fix, and then here go two more that are broken, and you got to fix those. But then when you fix those, it breaks something else. So it's just like it's a constant run around. And if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you're definitely gonna have some fun with it. I mean, I've got hours and hours into that game, but don't get me wrong, it's still not on par with these other fighters out here. The Dead or Alives, the Street Fighters, the Mortal Kombats of the world. That's just my opinion, though. Hey, somebody out there might think that it is, but not I, said the king. But here comes another reason why I feel that these guys need to get on their shit, and it could be just a political stunt that they're pulling right now. Supposedly there's going to be a third Xenoverse game, and they don't want to put all the eggs in one basket. They don't want to give us all the goodies up front, so they're holding back. And I hate that about the gaming community, about the politics involved in gaming. That companies try to hold back purposely, and kind of bird feed the consumers, just to make a dollar. I have a problem with that. If you're gonna make a game or a product, I mean, you need to make it the best it can be when you make that game. I mean, it's just the way it should be. But let me give an example. I mean, okay, the last DLC, we got some new characters, right? We got Super Saiyan Rose. We got BoJack, right? Okay. Well, they don't have their transformations. They only have straight set versions. And that's another thing that bothers me. Like, I don't know if they were being lazy or if they're trying to say, okay, we're going to hold this, save all this, and then the next game, we're going to put it out and say, now every character has their transformations type thing. You know what I mean? If they do, I'm going to be very upset. Am I going to buy the game? Probably so, because I am a huge Dragon Ball fan, and anything Dragon Ball, I'm pretty much going to buy it. And game wise, I pretty much own every Dragon Ball game for the most part. And that came out in the last 10 years at least, So like I said, but still, I'm very, I'm not happy with the way that they approach that. Frieza, for instance, example. Okay, there's Golden Frieza. Okay, but why can't you have his final form and then have him transform into his golden form? He does it in the parallel quests. So why not have him do that in the actual battle? I mean, it's frivolous. It doesn't make any sense to me, and that's the type of thing that bothers me. Your created characters do it. So why not the same for, the characters that are established characters in the series? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know if there's laziness or, like I said before, if they're holding back purposely because they knew they were going to make a number of games. You know what I mean? I can't get behind that. And that's why I didn't purchase any of the DLC, because I wasn't pleased with it. I mean, And I was waiting on a friend of mine to get it and find out, if they transformed or not. And when I found out that they didn't, I couldn't get behind that. I said, no, I'm not going to get on that boat with you. Yeah, it's not, in my opinion. This is the first time that I have not bought DLC. The last game, the first one, I bought all the DLC. This one, it just wasn't enough for me. And then also, I'm not even going to get started on the wasted player slots that they wasted on characters who meant nothing, were nothing but blotches on the screen. With those spots could have been, occupied by other established characters in the Dragon Ball universe. So many of them, especially, from the movies. You put some in here from the movies, but what about the rest? What about Tapion? What about these other guys? So many that they could have used, and they wasted these slots on these whack ass characters, man. So yeah, hopefully they change the game on the last game, the third installment, and they get it right, because like I said, nobody's, in my opinion, nobody's touching Budokai Tenkaichi 3. You know what I mean? Nobody's fucking with that game. So glad I still have that game, and I love it. So yeah, that game reigns supreme forever. But I think that's going to end my show, guys. There's probably some more I could talk about, but right now my brain is kind of numb because, yeah, it's been a long day. I've been drinking a little bit, and it's kind of late, so I think I will turn it in, put on a movie, and lean back, as Fat Joe would say. But I say this all the time. If you guys would like me to talk about something on the show, all you have to do is hit me at Twitter at Studio MacGyver, or you can email me at StudioMacGyverMusic with a K at yahoo.com. With that being said, guys, you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.